So that'll help us into a transition into the topic that is most immediate to us in this series. And spawning in the top right-hand side, it is the red Terran player with a second wind, Dream.
Yeah, in the bottom left. Quickly introduce another Shopify Rebellion player. It's going to be Lambo, but something way more important is happening right now. There's two SCVs moving on the map currently. And I know Dream loves this strategy. Dream loves 2 Rexes. He loves 3 Rexes. As long as his first barracks isn't in his main base, he is a happy camper. These barracks are really freaking close. What is the Overlord path like for Lambo? Well, it's not going in a way where these Rexes are going to get spotted, that's for sure. It is going to be a 2 Rex, and it's insanely close. It is so freaking close. Is that a drone scout? That's a drone scout.
Beautiful.
Look at
Where is it? I don't see it.
It was rallied up.
There, what? There it is. Is that a drone scout? Where's it rallied to? Where's it going? Is it going?
I think it's going.
It's going.
No, yeah, come on. Don't move it.
Nice. Lambo the King will be spotting these 2 Rexes very promptly. And Lambo is a player who is very good at preparing as well for opponents. So he very likely knows that this is something that Dream is likely to do. And now he's going to spot it. So he's going to be able to save a little bit of larva, get the links out that he needs. It's pretty low commitment from Dream to just make the 2 barracks. Second run, I'm not sure what he was hoping to accomplish with that one. But yeah, I think Lambo should mostly be fine.
Yeah, he's gonna try to deny that bunker from going up ASAP. He's gonna do a lot of damage on the first SCV at least. Gotta make sure that he doesn't lose any drones here. That's the most important thing. First drone does go down. The SCV also stays alive and now is gonna get repaired. Spine Crawler gets started as well. Lambo needs to be very careful here. You can't lose too many drones against this, even if afterwards it kills. That's 3 drones down already. He's gonna go for the surround.
We'll get 2 Marines. Yeah, that's good enough. I mean, he's lost 6 drones, sure, but there's no wind in the sails of Dream anymore. Not for this attack. 7 drones is a lot, but I mean, the investment for Dream is still greater. 8 drones is a lot, but the investment is still pretty big for Dream. So with this spine, Lambo will stabilize.
Yeah, this would have been awful had Lambo... Oh no, if he loses his own, this could still be awful potentially. Right?
Yeah.
That's actually thing. Queen's gonna try to save. At least we'll get a Marine for the trouble. No, it's not even gonna get a Marine. So usually I'd say this is just basically game over because 8 workers have gone down and the Overlord goes down. But because Lambo only made 2 links and immediately realized, hey, I'm just gonna have to keep pulling drones, I think this might still be somewhat playable. It's not a great position though, especially after that Overlord loss. I'm not even sure if after those 8 drones it still was a great position, but like the investment of Dream is big, but 8 drones is a crap ton.
Yeah, and the Overlord. I mean, that's an extra 2 and the supply block potentially, so it's rough for sure. It could have been a little bit better defended from Lambo. I think he was expecting to take down that first Marine, but Dream was very good about sending it back, so Lambo never got to snowball his drones into clean victories against those Marines.
Yeah, definitely. That's usually what it's all about, right? If you get that first Marine, or even if you get that first SCV with 1 more hit, like the entire game looks so freaking different. But it's not the case here, and now Lambo will need to live with the fact that his opponent got a bunch of damage done. Cars are going to be pumped out of that factory. We're going to be seeing a standard Hellion drop, right? The most standard of follow-ups after a 2-Rex, triple CC, 4 Hellion into a drop. Now there is something that Dream has been doing lately, and that's he's been going into a little bit of a mech. He looked okay with the mech, not great. He was good in the harassment phase, but once I'm referring back to the games against Dark that he played in the latest GSL group. He looked good in the early to mid stages, but once it went a little bit longer, he didn't quite look as strong against Dark. Now you could say perhaps that's just Dark being really good in those late game stages, but definitely also some weakness there for Dream. We'll see how he's going to be able to transition into that, or if he even wants to get into mech. Doesn't seem to be the case, as we see Barracks 2 and 3 being constructed right now. At least Barracks 2 is being constructed. Is that being rallied up? Where's that Barracks? What's it being built by?
It's floating, right?
Oh, it's floating home. Ah,
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the barracks. I'm like, this looks cool. Okay. Actually, this is the slowest SCV in the world. I was afraid there was like the guy building the CC or the barracks. I was clicking every single SCV in there. Like, where is this guy coming from? Good denial here by Well. Yeah,
Beautiful.
This should be okay for Lambo, right?
Yeah, it looks great for Lambo, and the medevac is going to be difficult to bring back into the fray as well. The Queens are going to try to... Oh, very nice job! Beautiful block by Lambo. This is why they call him the king.
This is why they call him the king. Oh, that was sick. What the heck? That was beautiful. This is a great defense. Lambo's so aware of the timings. No, that the fact that the spine moved to the main. I think that's that's preparation. That's knowledge. He's just so aware of the situation. Could have been at the third. Could have been still at the natural, but no, it's in the main. That block with the evil was just beautiful. Clutch, all right?
Yeah, very well done. And this is not really that common in TVC, right? It's a very common TVP opener, but the Hellion drop in TVC, not something that you see every day. So extra props for Lambo to really be as ready as he was. And now with that, I feel like the game is wide open yet again.
Yeah, he managed to throw it up beautifully there. He had a bunch of links that he built. His speed actually was slightly too late, though. It was like 5 or 6 seconds late. It could have been an awful start, but it ends up being okay. Right now we have 61 workers against 47, and the follow-up 50 Marines are coming rather fast as well. Holy crap, this hits hard. Oh my god. What in the world? Lambo isn't ready at all. He's super supply low. Look at this. Building 4 overlords. He's just dead.
He might just be dead. I mean, the third is gonna get demolished here. These Lynx are trying to do what they can, but they can't do much. The Queen's at least getting a few free pot shots onto the medevacs, but not really super focused firing at the moment. 5 Queens still left over. The spine was somehow repositioned all the way from the main to the third, but these Queens are kind of trapped now. Are the Marines trapped instead as they have to retreat? Not all bunched up, not all attacking the same Queen, unfortunately for Dream. A little bit sloppy on his end, but Lambo defends nicely, something that looked really dangerous.
Yeah, I'm afraid of kind of the snowball. Another supply block coming in here for Lambo, by the way. 98 out of 98. First the 82 out of 82.
He's not making overlords.
Yeah, this is a major supply block. He seems to... Yeah, the mechanics aren't completely on point here today. Overseer start. 15 Banelings on the way. The beauty, of course, Banelings don't cost supply. That's definitely going to help. Banelings isn't quite done yet, but there's a little bit...
Oh, the mines!
It was a great hit for Lambo, actually. Taking a lot of that splash damage onto the Marines and Medevacs. Dream is macron like a beast behind this, though. He's getting more barracks here. 1-1 is about to finish up as well. Lambo finally gets that extra round of drones in, but ideally he would have been defending this on that extra round of drones. That initial defense of those first 2 medevacs just wasn't it, Cats. And I think Lambo's gonna pay the price, because Dream is a guy that can pounce, and he can pounce hard. He's just gonna keep going. The creep is very little outside of the third base here. I'm afraid of for the German Zerg here.
All right, let's see what this Banelings can accomplish. Maybe they can set a win condition for Lambo. It looks like they're gonna connect. And Lambo actually killing a lot of workers here, 15 altogether. With his spine at the front, if he can transfuse it and buy himself some time for his Banelings to morph. The Baneling speed is almost ready. There's those mines, but they have backfired for Dream just earlier in this game. So we'll see if they are able to anchor, because at this point, after those kills from Lambo, I think if he holds, he's going to be yet again restabilizing in a very good position. Here's the Baneling speed now.
Yeah, it's really nice to see Lambo being able to pull out these clutch plays. Really, you can see that he improved his play, setting up some type of a flank. Oh, it's a massive counterattack. He's gonna set another win, a bigger win condition for himself. Look at this. This is a huge counterattack.
Very gutsy. Oh, but unfortunately it'll get spotted. Dream with a good reaction time and a beautiful supply depot at the front. There's Banelings coming in to try and breach into this natural base. Will Lambo have enough to defend at the same time? The Banelings will crash on through and actually connect onto some of the Marines, and at the same time, Lambo will also manage to clear a lot of the bio on the other side. Those mines are scary, but not if they can't move on forward, and this is looking fantastic for the German Zerg.
Yeah, Lambo once again moving in with the Banelings. No micro out of Dream is gonna take out all of the Marines right here. More workers going down in the natural. Lambo during that fight was floating an ungodly amount of money though. 1k in the bank, a little bit uncommon, perhaps still kind of the inheritance from the earlier supply blocks that he had. Tends to be kind of tricky to spend that money sometimes with Zerg, especially if the injects also haven't been on point. But right now, he's in a situation where it looks at least pretty okay, I would say. There's going to be a 2-2 push soon, though. And even though Dream has lost a lot of his mine count, and he's lost a lot of SCVs, somehow, someway, he's back at 65. He's building mines, he has a second factory, and his 2-2 is finishing way before Lambo's 2-2. This could be an issue.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it is a little bit disappointing or a little bit sad that Lambo has seemingly had so many good moments in this game, starting from spotting those barracks, but like you said, the execution, I mean, maybe he just woke up or something, but he's not playing his best as far as like executing on the army control and as far as doing everything that he needs to be doing, because strategically, I think Lambo has played a great game.
Yeah. He once again was looking at a bit of a supply block, by the way, on 150, 150. Getting a couple of overlords, losing a couple of units. It's another way to get out of the supply block. It's the way that I favor as well, rather than having proper macro. Just lose half your army. It seems like Lambo, once a good counterattack is being set up. The mines aren't going to be burrowing in time, and Lambo gets an okay trade on the other side of the map, defense on his side as well. And once again, pretty much resets the mine count. And this is one of the most important things in TVZ, is keeping that mine count low. Because if there's 10, 12 mines in an army, it's just so freaking hard to engage in with those baneling attacks. Lambo's been doing a fantastic job. He's going to go for a counterattack, guys. What do you think of that?
I think that's pretty sexy, but it's parked right under the vision of this watchtower, so it's going to be a little bit difficult, but it looks like he will connect onto all the SCVs at the third base as the rest of his army crashes on forward onto the bio. So really nice moves here from Lambo once again, and he seems to be solidifying himself a position here in this game. He has lost 6 workers of his own on the other side to the mines, so it's not free, but I mean 12 SCVs and a liftoff, pretty good.
The multitasking of Lambo this game has been absolutely on point, by the way. Every single time he's going in with banelings, he first makes sure that he's attacking the fort base with links. Or when we see these engagements on his own creep, at the same time he's doing a baneling run by. Once again, Lambo is going in while clearing widow mines on the left side of the map as well. Gonna try to get a couple of kills here. That wasn't the greatest trade here for Lambo, I have to admit. He will be able to get a couple of SCVs on the other side of the map. Dream is hanging on like a boss, though. Wow. How
did he not lose a single SCV there?
Yeah. I think
that's absurd. Yeah. I thought that was a beautiful move from Lambo to have the presence of mind to send those links in before the PF even morphed. But Dream saving every single SCV. Still Lambo in a comfortable position now, looking beautiful with the 7 bases now, 72 workers. Not adding any additional workers, and now we have Ultras nearly ready to go, right? He's gonna want that Carapace for the Ultras right away, potentially, but once those Ultras are on the field, it's kind of like similar to the carrier situation that we had with the Trap Scarlet game, where if Lambo can get 5, 6 Ultras, something like that out, it'll be very difficult for Dream to contend with.
Look at this beautiful move here by Dream, by the way. Just getting that vision on the left side, securing that side, and then rallying there, while still keeping a sizable army at home for run-bys. Dream saying, okay, I see your run-bys, I'm gonna up you with my run-by defense. And like, we've been giving credit to Lambo, but Dream just continuing his worker production on, getting his 3-3 out. His 3-3 is done already. Lambo is barely just starting. Carapace is starting right now. 4 more workers going down against the mine drop. I'm not even quite sure where Dream is pulling these resources from to get all these things done. Another fight on the left side. Kind of like this one for Dream. I'm going to be real with you here. And Lambo does need to be careful to not chase too much, because there's more mines in the back. Right now there's 11 mines on the field. We have Liberator starting, and here comes Barrett, 6, 7, and 8.
Yes, indeed. This mine's continuing to do work as well for Dream on the other side of the map. A lot of spores being thrown down for Lambo. At the same time, Dream is going to reposition onto the north watchtower, and Lambo's going to have a difficult defense. This is the area of the map with the least creep spread, which is something that Dream has been exploiting through and through this game, just looking for those openings to park his army. Now with a much better spread than he has had all game long as far as widow mines are concerned. This will be a lot more difficult to clear, and look at that spread from Dream. It's gorgeous. Ultra is not quite out here from Lambo. I think he has to evacuate this base. A little bit of a flank will net him some units in the back, and the banelings might actually get to connect, but no, the brunt of the army of Dream does stay alive. Will have to get evacuated as the rest of the banelings and the Ultralisk collapse onto it. Liberators already added, however, for Dream, so good presence of mind there. The Queens, though, they have been sacrificial all game long. A lot of these Queens have been falling with a lot of energy as well. No transfuses being used. And it's looking close as it can be.
Close as can be. Supply slightly in favor of Lambo, but his worker count is massive, so the army supply actually in favor of Dream. Doesn't seem to matter too much, however, as Lambo is trying to clean this up. Big mine shot, gonna get a bunch of the banelings there. Queens are falling and Dream is pushing Lambo back. No more run-bys for Lambo. No more units whatsoever for Lambo in general. Is there any more banelings morphing? No. We have 4 left, and that's all there is. This base needs to be given up right now.
I don't know. There's a lot of transfuse and 3 ultras about to spawn. I don't know if Dream has the amount of units to actually take down this base. This Marauder might have something to say about that, but if these ultras make it onto this side and the transfuse can keep this base alive, it would still be huge for Lambo. Good transfuse onto the queen there. And look at that. The ultras are gonna push on through. There's only 1 left. Good transfuses yet again. I would love at this point to see an infestor added perhaps. The gas is there for Lambo and we need a way to hold these units in place.
Yeah, extremely clutch overseer as well. For a second I was afraid there wasn't going to be one, but all of these mines get cleaned up. That makes this position easier to break later on once again with banelings. There's still a lot of marines. Medevacs are running low. Oh, yeah,
0 queens left on the map. That's a little bit dangerous as well.
Ultras are pushing pretty far forward right now. Gonna be able to clean up a couple more mines. 5th base is being stabilized here for Dream. I really have no clue how Dream is pulling out the money. It's like he has a money tree planted in his backyard and Lambo isn't quite aware of it yet because he afforded barracks 6, 7, and 8 on 64 workers. Then he also afforded a 5th base just like this. And it just seems like he has constant unit production. Then you take a look at the unit loss step and it all starts to make a little more sense. The trades of Dream have just been fantastic. A lot of it has been off creep as well. And I'm not sure how viable this is for Lambo to continue trading like this off creep. He needs to get more queens.
Yeah, he needs to get queens, period. I mean, he has none of them. And he really needs something in order to chase this army. I would really love to see the Infestor. The Viper is going to be good. It could provide with some parasitic bombs against growing medevac numbers and stuff like that. But at this point, Lambo has to stay on the defensive. Dream has done a fantastic job. I was saying earlier how Ultras could end the game, but Dream has done such a great job from transitioning into mass Marauder production, 4 at a time now being added, as well as 2 Liberators at a time. So this army from Lambo will start to lose some potency.
Yeah, definitely. Lambo's just falling a bit behind in supply as well. And as the Marauder count keeps growing and there's no creep on that far left side, I'm just getting very scared for a German Zerg player. Had a little bit of a rough start, but managed to fight himself back into the game. Right now, needs to figure out a way to get some creep going. Needs to figure out a way perhaps to put some pressure onto his opponent away from himself. Because these 2 ultras on the other side of the map are doing way more than I thought they would. Look at that. Lambo is actually kind of pushing Dream back, even though he's down 20 supply and down, what, 40 army supply?
Yeah, I mean, Ultras are definitely very powerful, but again, I really would love to see some Infestors or something to hold the army in place. Otherwise, they're going to get kited to death, especially with growing Marauder numbers. There is the Parasitic Bomb that we were talking about, but there's not that many medevacs to take out. He does take out 2 of them, but now with Liberators here to anchor, I think Lambo's going to have to pull back with whatever he can, and it's going to be nothing left over for him, as Dream will definitely now secure this base. A decent attempt at a counterattack here from Lambo, but has to give up 1 base. Is taking another base on the south right-hand corner, so that's going to help him out a little bit to stabilize perhaps. But again, I think we need something bigger. I think we need Baneling bombs or Infestors or something that can just catch this army and reset things for Lambo.
Well, he's going to need a fantastic fight for Lambo, but I'm not really seeing it happen as there's 3-4 Liberators in position. Mines are moving forward. The medevac count is pathetic. The health of the units is pathetic, but it's going to be good enough to take this game. Dream wins game number 1. A hard-fought victory after being very far ahead or slightly ahead in the early game. Lambo managed to stay in there, but not for long enough as Dream takes 2,000 atmospheres. Interesting game that was. Really felt like it went pretty back and forth, and at certain points it looked like Lambo was just light years ahead. After the initial Baneling bomb and defending that push, it looked so good. It was 40, 45 workers against 75, 76. I'm looking at that to myself and I'm thinking, well, that's nice, you know, that's a good start there for Lambo. But somehow Dream his supply just kept up. I have no clue how he did that.
Yeah, he did a really good job of controlling areas in the map with those Widow Mines as well. Dream played a fantastic macro game, I feel like. Lambo was a little bit sloppy, especially in the early game, though. I mean, he lost 8 workers to those barracks. I feel like at least 3 or 4 of those could have been saved just by microing, because it's against like 2-3 Marines worth focus fire, right? Like, it's something that you should be able to avoid. And then later, I mean, taking a few losses that he didn't need to take either, but once those run-by started coming in online for Lambo, he really shined. He really showed like his strengths as a player, a very positional player at that, like very good counterattacks all throughout, good risks being taken on defense as well, right? Like moving a lot of that army. I thought he was setting a flank. I think you thought so as well. And then he went for a wonderful counterattack, but it wasn't enough in the end. So we'll see what Dream has in store, but I expect to see Lambo at least a little bit cleaner in that early game this game.
Yeah, he's gonna probably be a little bit upset about that as well. Yeah, those supply blocks weren't the prettiest, but he managed to come back into the game. Just those later stages, Dream looked so powerful. The way that he just took control of the map in the way that he is taking that left tower, always having these 2 armies on the map as well. I'm just a big fan of how he played, really showing why he is a force to be reckoned with, and the reason why he qualified in general for the season finals.
Yeah,
I mean, it ain't easy.
It ain't easy. That's an accomplishment in itself. So very well done. And yeah, I think a lot of what it was for Dream was also the fact that he was out on the map against those ultras, controlling the creep against those ultras. Like with the type of army composition that Lambo had, he wants to be running those ultras into PFs. You know, the PF can't run away. He wants to be running those ultras to make room for like Ling run-bys and just carve spaces into the bases of Dream and just kind of overwhelm. So he probably felt like he was also far enough ahead to pull off that style. But defensively, and when your opponent has control of your creep and they're sitting at the watchtowers and they can kite you forever, then that style is just gonna fall off so hard, especially once Dream starts adding those Liberators, those 4 Marauders at a time. It just got super difficult, and that's when I think you need to change plans from I'm gonna overwhelm you and I'm gonna kill your bases if you don't fight me, to I should get an Infestor, because if I get a Fungal, then maybe I can reset the fight and I can actually catch your army and not get kited forever. So we'll see what happens in this next game. I think Lambo could have made a few adjustments, but I think he played a fantastic game. And Dream, of course, in the top right-hand side of the map, played an even more fantastic game.
Yeah. Once again, we see Dream sending out a couple of SCVs immediately. But let's first introduce the man in the bottom left, spawning as the Blue Zerg, playing for Team Shopify's Rebellion. It's going to be Lambo. And let's see what it's going to be this time around. Seems like just your regular 2 racks one more time.
Yeah.
Once again, getting it really close to his opponent.
Same position, basically, right?
Yeah. I think this counts as the same position. Different map, same position. It's gonna be a bit easier to attack with the workers, though, isn't it? No mineral patches on the top side.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna see a drone scout, I'm just clicking on all the workers right now. I guess the drone scout would be after the pool. That's what he did last time. So I think he went to pool, gas, and then he sent out a drone afterwards, or gas pool, and then the next drone goes for a little stroll around the map. And I'm very curious if that's going to be the case this time as well. No, we're seeing it rally straight into the gas.
Yeah, but the Overlord will spot the barracks anyway, so this will be nice for Lambo, as that Overlord, both of his Overlords actually scouting the outskirts of the map before going anywhere else. He will see this barracks now, and he will have a heads up. We'll see how he reacts. A drone being started, a little bit surprising. I guess that's still fine. 3 drones being sent out to try and deny that SCV from building the bunker, just like last game. We'll see if Lambo can pull off a better defense. It's going to be easier as well with the ramp.
Yeah, It seems like Lambo's plan is just to pull a lot of workers, cancel his gas, and then get a queen and a spine out. And that way he doesn't actually need to build that many links. He just builds 2 links, and the rest can be basically used into drones. Which means that he can actually lose a couple of extra drones, more drones than usual. But he does need to still be careful. He's going to go for the surround, gets the first Marines. Go down. Can we get some micro on that one drone?
Injured drone, please! Pull it back!
He's gonna get the Marines at least. He loses one more drone than he should have. Yeah, he's gonna get all of the Marines here. This is massive. 2 SCVs also going down on the side of Dream. Yeah, he built 2 bunkers. Yeah, Lambo goes back home. Do you think he'll finish the spine here? I don't think he has to.
No, he doesn't have to. Yeah, he does not have to. And he is the king. I mean, the first bunker already got crushed. Actually, okay, now you finish the spine, right? Like, because the bunker didn't actually go away. I think you do, and you just killed that from the high ground.
You could do it with the queens as well. I don't think he needed the spine, but I guess, you know, safety knows no price. Ooh, that Overlord, is that in a position where it could get taken out? Nah, no way.
No way.
Yeah. Way better defense here for Lambo. Way better defense. He lost 3 less workers. He just... If he would have been able to cancel the spine, that would have been great. Didn't lose the Overlord this time either. Yeah, he's looking to be in a fantastic spot here. Got a lot of the Marines down as well. Oh, this Overlord actually is gonna go down. That's some nice play by Dream. Dream says, I got an Overlord last time, I'm gonna get an Overlord this time as well. Enjoy your last new Overlord as you get shot out of the sky. Lambo already knows it though, it's not gonna get supply blocked for too much longer. I'm liking this opener here.
A lot better for sure. I mean, that Overlord, maybe like it's a little bit of a risk for Dream to take it down because there could be circlings from Lambo, but maybe he knows from the last game and from, you know, just 2 links attacking the bunker that Lambo was unlikely to make any more after letting the spine finish. So good calls from Dream. And what I love the most about this defense is that I felt like Lambo didn't adapt his game plan a lot. Whereas Dream, I felt like did. And I was really worried for Lambo because Dream dropping that bunker on the low ground, kind of conceding a little bit of ground, makes it so much more difficult for those drones because all of a sudden they have to go way further to chase those SCVs building and those Marines. And Dream really pulled back super far away. I mean, most of the fight against the Marines happened near those 2 barracks as opposed to on Lambo's side of the map where maybe most Terrans might choose to or try to take that fight. So Dream made it difficult for Lambo, but Lambo managed to defend beautifully this time around.
Yeah, Lambo, by the way, managed to sneak in that 3rd base in a pretty cute way. I'm not sure if you noticed it, but he hit the drone. The Hellion checked, and he saw the Hellion move in, pulled back the drone, and built the base like half a second later. That's quite a cool move. And Dream's like, oh crap, I've been got again. And once again, we see the move of the Spine Crawler into the main base, but this time we have a different follow-up. No 4 Hellion drop. Instead, we're looking at... What is this? Is this a single Banshee without cloak?
Yeah. It's a defensive Banshee in case Lambo was to go for something like a Roach attack or Roach all-in behind this. So it seems a little bit sketch to me. It's not going to be really able to accomplish too much. It's going to move across the map now, but even just a couple of queens will be able to deal with that Banshee. So looking good for Lambo yet again.
I'd be surprised if this Banshee gets anything more than 1 or 2 drone kills, honestly. I mean, there's queens in position. There's 1 queen in the main base, so perhaps in the main.
Oh.
It's gonna fly into the 3rd. Lambo. Gotta get a spore as well. It's funny because these spores are actually bad for Lambo. Lambo, of course, isn't aware. I think he might even cancel the spores after seeing this movement. But it is a risky move, right? Because who takes this much damage on their first Banshee just like that? Oh my god, Dream's gonna go back in.
No. Lambo! This is way too much. Yeah.
Yeah, that shouldn't have done more than 2-3 workers. Lambo's still in a fantastic position though. It's gonna be going up to 60-ish drones. Should be looking towards a 4th base at this point as well. It's getting baning speed before his upgrades, so before his evo chambers even finish. Let's just hope for Lambo that this time around his defense is going to be a little bit better against his first drop, but he doesn't actually have that many units out, and he just keeps droning up.
Yeah, this looks a little bit scary indeed. There's a link, but it's gonna barely miss the medevacs. And that Banshee, I mean, effectively, if you count the resources spent for the spores, it killed 9.5 workers. For a Banshee without cloak, that's pretty crazy, right? So we'll see if Lambo can restabilize here. The creep is decent. We'll give him a little bit of a heads up of this drop. The queens are a little bit out of position. We'll have to run back. The spine not being repositioned just yet. The links are here now and will try to get us around, but not getting full surface area right away. Dream will pick up and go into a very sneaky corner there. The spine might have to be repositioned just to deal with this. The spore is trying to help as well. There are extra spores. Wouldn't mind Lambo bringing some of those. And these 3 Marines will eventually get taken down by the queens on the high ground. At the same time, the queen on the low ground in jeopardy, but will get saved. And Lambo manages to defend, but not a super cheap defense. There was a lot of units made. I would love for him to cross the map with them.
Yeah, perhaps go for a little bit of a counter attack. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of Dream at home. There is a tank, a couple of Marines. Yeah, he's gonna go for another Baneling run by this time with Baneling speed as well immediately. This was an expensive hold. He also wasn't mining for a long time with those drones. Good micro out of Dream, by the way, realizing, hey, these queens are pretty exposed. Let me just pop in here, and then tanking a bunch of damage off those links onto his Marines and saying, I'm fine with that as long as I can snipe the majority of your queens. And right now there's only 4 queens remaining. A 5th queen is being produced, but it just makes it a little bit harder. Look at his Baneling run by. Do you think it's gonna be...
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's nothing else going on right now. That's the problem, right? It's gonna open up for a run by to the left-hand side, but Dream actually is paying attention there, and that was a little bit of a waste from Lambo. Not really planning this run by as well as he had been for the previous game.
He's gonna catch a tank and a couple of Marines here for free, though. That's kind of nice. It's a good pickup if you can get a tank for free. Well, it's not quite for free anymore if you also lose 10, 15 links there. Meanwhile, we have Dream already clearing a lot of creep with 5 Marines. Banelings are moving forward. Lambo supply is looking healthy. Will be able to push this back. Is there enough queens to re-establish the creep? I think there is. And once again, Lambo holds, at least for now. Oh, there's gonna be Liberators on the way already. What do you think Dream's plan is here? He's gonna try to
Harass?
set up some position. Oh, you think it's just for harass?
Yeah, I think he's gonna send one Liberator to each side and then try to poke at the front or something of the sorts. I think that it's kind of like the Baneling Rambai of Terran in this case. It's a very interesting tactic. I mean, it's not something that you see all the time. Lambo is gonna try for his own Baneling Rambai yet again. He knows that there's likely a wall-off to be completed here, so 2 Banelings might make it through, but Dream might spot these Banelings earlier with his Marines, and that's super dangerous. Actually, Stims on forward. They had already been pre-spotted by that medevac, which is dropping now into Lambo's 4th base. Only a queen here, which will be taken down right away. The Lynx are trying to answer as fast as possible, not getting a great surround there, and Dream will only lose 2 units for his troubles.
Yeah. We see Dream, by the way, going heavier into that tank production rather than the mass mine that we saw him do last game. It's actually going to match up well for him, as his opponent is going to be going into Hydras and later on Lurkers. Mine's not as great against Lurkers as they are against Purling Bane, of course. These 3 medevacs on the right side will be pushed back. Lambo does need an army on the left side, as once again this creep will get cleared. His tank is moving far forward. Both of these tanks are very much out in the open. The creep hasn't disappeared yet. I think Lambo can just jump this and take a fantastic fight here.
I really hope he does. This Liberator is also being positioned offensively rather than harassment as harassment tools, and Lambo is gonna crash on through this. And like you said, I mean, Dream, he really has no right to be parked this deep on creep in spite of a little bit of a defensive setup with those Liberators against Sling Bane. They are not going to be very effective, which is what I thought he wouldn't use them in this manner.
Yeah, that was an expensive parking ticket indeed. As he was not allowed. That was a no-go zone for him, my friend.
Yeah.
That's not allowed. And Lambo immediately reestablishes the creep. Has been good about that, but the creep on the right side hasn't been pushed out as far. I think Dream once again will be able to identify that. This is one of the cool things. Dream just identifies, hey, there's some weakness in the creep here, and then just pushes out there. Could be very dangerous. Liberator will be shift-clicked on top of a Spore and a Queen. Queen will get taken out and a couple of drones will fall, but Lambo will defend it for now. He's looking for damage. I don't think he's going to be able to find it though with these runways.
Oh, big tank shot there. Those 2 Liberators getting sieged just in the nick of time. And yeah, with that, Dream is going to establish his 4th base. That's looking pretty good for him. At the same time, Lambo now going into Lurkers. And with the upgrades as well ready to go. So he's been very good and very diligent at transitioning. And while he hasn't had the entire map covered with creep, his creep is good to defend on every front on this map, right? Like, because the map is so big and kind of easy to split at this point, the creep is looking pretty healthy. I mean, Dream hasn't really been able to walk into Lambo like he was able to last game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, theoretically he could walk towards the far right side, but the moment he does that, he just opens himself up for the biggest run by of a lifetime, right? And that position isn't even that great to take, even if there is no creep. So yeah, Lambo really focusing on the more important areas. Dream is going to be playing a lot more passive than we saw him play last game. Last game, he was the one putting on a lot of pressure, continuously trying to trade with those mines, marines, and marauders. This time, we're seeing a Dream that's a lot more passive. We're seeing sensor towers, liberators in defensive positions, and we have a Ghost Academy on the way as well. First lurkers are being morphed here on the side of Lambo. What are we expecting from Lambo? We're expecting some type of pushing, right? Usually the moment the Terran tries to take a 5th base is the moment the Lurker Zerg will pounce.
Yes, indeed. Lurkers are extremely good positionally. They're kind of like the Zerg tanks. So if he can get in a position where he's sieging a base with those Lurkers, make way with the Link Bane in front, then that will be how Lambo starts killing bases in this game. Nice pickoffs here. Will be able to defend that medevac drop very easily as he continues to spread on creep. Now Lambo positioning himself in the middle of the map. I'm a little bit worried now about the Liberators just simply because there's no anti-air at all.
A couple of Vipers, right? At least we'll be able to pull them out of position. Just poke them away. 7 Hydras as well somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. 6 base is gonna fall on the side of Lambo. Perhaps a single lurker could have prevented. Oh my, what? Are you joking?
I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
6 base doesn't end up falling. But what do you think of this move out? This is what, a single lurker here? It's kind of risky, no?
Yeah, it's a little bit risky for sure, especially with those rocks sitting in between the tank line and the army of Lambo. He cannot engage onto that location, and it's kind of a useless location to be fighting for as there's nothing really there to contest, but he will net himself a few tank kills with those Vipers, so that's going to be helpful for Lambo. But again, I'm not sure why he's here. Maybe he's just trying to distract from the real attack happening at the natural... Oh, 2 PFs! Jesus.
Yeah, double planetary, liberator, tank as well, and a turret for good measure. So lurkers have been denied entry. A very similar experience these lurkers have like they had in most restaurants in Valencia. If you have your swimming shorts on, you're not allowed in, and lurkers in general not allowed in here.
In Valencia, you can't if you have swimming shorts on?
Well, some restaurants don't allow it. The other ones, the ones where I eat, do allow it, but a lot of them don't. The fancy hotels, you know, they don't want clowns like me in there, so they have good measures in place just in case. And it seems like Dream has similar measures in place for these lurkers: a single tank, double planetary, and a turret. Sensor towers being added on as well. I'm feeling like the lurker numbers are too low and the link numbers a little bit too high at 110 links. Thoughts on this statement?
Yeah, at the same time, I think that Lambo is maybe trying to trick Dream into overcommitting for a defense into lurkers and then maybe go into broodlords or something like that. These banelings are gonna try to collapse onto this army and the PF, but they actually take out the wrong PF, and that's kind of weird to me. I mean, he could have just taken the other planetary fortress. That was extremely expensive for Lambo, who still does have a little bit of a bank. And there is the Greater Spire that I was talking about as well as a second Spire for upgrades. So this could do well for Lambo if he can get to those broodlords here.
He's adding 6 more lurkers right now, though. I hear Lambo speak about this type of thing where you pretend to go into lurkers and then trick your opponent in overcommitting in the lurker defense, then going in with a lot of Link Bane, especially against heavy ghost plays that can be powerful. Ooh, we see a nice rotation out of Lambo here, even picking some of these ghosts into the lurker fire, taking out a liberator there as well. Lambo is really trying to get
I'm not sure about that.
So many tanks, yeah. These trades have not been cost efficient at all. That's what, 21,000 resources lost on the side of Lambo and 12,000 lost on the side of Dream. Lambo is not mining from any of Dream's bases, and Dream right now is even floating over his own 6th base. So these are the bases as they're going to be, and I don't think there's anything Lambo can do about that.
Beautiful save onto those ghosts from Dream. But yeah, Lambo really needs to stop suiciding units here. It seems like he's very dead set on making stuff happen with the counterattacks, but at this point I think you just have to wait for the broodlords. And I really extra don't... Oh, wow. I extra don't like those move-ins with the Baneling Link, simply because the tanks are the last of your worries. You want your opponent to have a lot of tanks right now because you're going to broodlords, and those are actually going to start hurting their own army. So we'll see what happens. That's a lot of ghosts on the side of Dream.
Yeah, and ghosts... It's not like there's nothing in this army on Dream's side that you know, that can shoot up. Like, ghosts are fine against broodlords. There's a couple of Vikings out as well already. Like, sure, there's a lot of tanks. Yeah, I like the infestors, but I feel like this Broodlord attack needs to come as a massive surprise, and I don't think it is. There's a Thor on the way already. +3 vehicle weapons is on the way as well. Like, it seems like Dream is pretty much ready for everything. And he's just sitting back, relaxing, says, throw at me whatever you have. I'm mining my 6 bases. I know you're not trading cost efficiently, and the timer is on you here, my friend. Throw at me what you have. We have 2 more Ghost Academies on the way. The first nuke is being researched as well. I am not liking this position for the German Zerg very much.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's really gonna come down to those Broodlords. A lot of Ghosts actually getting picked off here. That's really nice. But when those Broodlords come online, especially with the support of those Infestors, if the Infestors can cancel the snipes from the Ghosts onto those Broodlords, then all of a sudden the Broodlords are mostly uncontested. Yes, there is a Thor, which gives us... Oh, there's 3 Thors in production now. And a huge scan from Dream. I think this is go time for Lambo right now. He's been spotted.
Yeah, he's been figured out. Scanned 3 bases, and one of those 3 bases did have the Broodlords morphing. We have a weird army composition here, by the way, out of Lambo. We have Lurker, Hydra, Ling, Triple Infestor, Broodlords. There's a couple of Corruptors flying around, and there's also 3 Vipers.
What? This is why they call them the king.
Yeah. No loyalty to his units, though. I hope his units are more loyal to him.
Yeah, they're subjects.
They're subjects to the overmind of Lambo, yeah. Yeah. 8 Corruptors on the way. I like that. He's preparing for Vikings and I guess a couple of Liberators, but the way that Dream is trying to counter this is through 4 Ghosts, really. So I'm not even sure how much these extra Corruptors will help Lambo out. Lambo does need to start hitting at some point, though. He needs to start going. He loses the base on the right side against the Marines and tanks that Dream wants to get rid of. After Dream figured out what's happening, he's like, okay, I want to throw away a couple of my units. I think that's exactly what Dream is doing right here while he's transitioning into higher Thor counts. The window is closing for Lambo Cats, and
it really is.
Lambo is a thin guy, but I don't think he can quite squeeze through anymore over here. I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm afraid as well. There is no Neuroparasite either to get rid of those Thors, which would be the most immediate answer that I can think of for 5 Thors that are going to be wailing away at these Broodlords. Though those Vipers might have something to say, they can actually pull the Thors back. This is still a very scary force for Lambo, a very heart of the swarm-esque force. Tons of Ghosts, they're in the back. Those Infestors have to be alert, and they are. Looking to reposition to land a fungal as soon as those Ghosts try to start sniping things. The tank's re-sieging. I'm not sure if that's the wisest maneuver or call from Dream. But Lambo now hesitant to go further up.
Yeah, we have a 4 tank run by going towards that far left base, which because originally was the 5th. Still is the 5th base. Things will be able to clean it up. There's no defenses on the 6th base of Dream, by the way. So perhaps Lambo can set up something of a Baneling Ling attack there to try and clean that up, but Lambo's actually gonna push forward with Spores here. But there's just, I mean, Spores are really cool and they're very useful, but there's just not a lot of air here, right? Like
yeah, I think it's also for vision. He was just lacking vision against the ghosts, the one ghost that was cloaked, and I was thinking if Dream cloaks all of his ghosts and moves them all forward, he's gonna be in a fantastic position. There's also some Vikings being added. So I don't mind the Spores. Maybe 3 is a little bit of overkill, but he really doesn't want to run out of vision here. Loads of Thors now, Kevin. That's scary against the Broodlords.
Yeah, 10 Thors, 11 Thor on the way. These Thors are well upgraded. Let's not forget about the Terran advantage as well, is that they have mules, so they can be on a lower worker count. So even though both players are maxed right now, the army is just a little bit bigger here for Dream. Dream is actually rotating a couple of units to the left side, starts his first nuke. Immediately gets cancelled. Lambo's going to be pretty happy with himself there. There's a crap ton of brutes here. 15 brutes, 10 Corruptors. There's 7 Infestors. Look at that pre-split on the Infestors. Many a Terran could learn from that. Another nuke going down, this time queued up down on the...
Oh, good fungal! Huge fungal. These Thors are destroying the Broodlords, though, as they often do. Very good. Oh, there is Neuroparasite! And this is the hardest counter to the Thor, is the Neuroparasite, and 2 Thors in the front will get grabbed and will destroy their friends as the Broodlords continue to pounce on forward. No transfuses being used here. Now 1 goes down on 2 of the Broodlords. 3 still remain. At the same time, Dream with a beautiful counterattack. I'm not sure where those units came out of, and that's actually going to reset things for Lambo. a little bit as he loses a base and nearly the same amount of damage done on either side. These Broodlords can't really continue to push them forward. There's not enough of them left.
Yeah, and Lambo right now isn't actually completely producing a lot of units. He still has Larva remaining, he has a lot of money in the bank as well. I'm surprised we're not seeing a bunch more links being built to try and deal with this force that is dropping into his main base right now. Broodlords are not even being sent back. Like, this is a threat that needs to be dealt with. I know it's only, what, 20 supply, but they're taking out every single tech structure. Viper is gonna go down here as well if Lambo isn't careful. Links will finally rally in, but that's a little bit late, no?
It is a little bit late. I'm not sure if Dream has a way to exploit the lack of Lurker then now, but if there is one that he can think of, then that would be great. The Greater Spire would be a huge pickoff, and it actually will get taken down. Lambo instantly starts his next Greater Spire, but he has lost a lot of ground just to a few units, like you were mentioning.
Yeah, that was actually kind of big, and it looked really good for a second there for Lambo. There wasn't a lot of money in the bank for Dream. That trade was extremely good for Lambo. That was a beautiful trade. The problem is that the rest of the game just hasn't been cost efficient, and I'm even starting to doubt whether that trade was cost efficient or if it was more of a trade that is supposed to force something else, a push forward into production or a push into that right side base. Because if that isn't the case, I mean, Lambo is still down 10k in resources. He needs to go again. There's still a timer on him.
Round 2.
Round 2. How many infestors is there? Once again, 7. This is a nice looking army for Lambo.
All right, gotta look for the fungals onto those. Beautiful Nerve Parasite, as well as the Cloud here. It's gonna prevent a lot of those Thors from coming into the fight. There is plenty of Broodlords. Huge fungal onto those Ghosts. They are now free to snipe if they would choose to. There's no Queens additionally here, and there is a lot of Thors still left over. This Broodlords, I'm not feeling too good about them now. The Queens are arriving, but a lot of these Broodlords have already faltered, and this is looking like a hold for Dream.
Yeah, a lot of links are running in, though these links are great against Thors. If those two Broodlords actually manage to stay alive, one Broodlord stays alive. Greater Spire has finished back at home, so a couple of extra Broodlords could be made here. The money is looking good for Lambo. He still has some extra money in the bank. He starts 4 more Broodlords. 3 more Thors are on the way, though. These Queens are dying for free as well against the tank and, what is it, 2.5 Marines. There's not a single medevac on the map right now. 2 are being produced. What does Lambo do? He needs to get something done. He needs to push forward. He knows it. Dream knows it. You got round 3?
Round 3, I suppose. And I think you're spot on, Kevin. I think that Lambo needs to not just push on and break the army. He needs to have enough force left after that he can take an additional base or 2. Like that right-hand side base would have been perfect, but now, I mean, his army is a little bit smaller than normal. He still kept most of the infestors, and if he can land the Neuroparasites yet again on the Thors, maybe that can give him an opening. But I mean, you need a lot of Broodlords to make things happen.
Yeah, still, the one nice thing is that he kept his infestors alive this time, right?
Yeah.
That is actually going to help a crap ton.
Yeah.
Oh, I say that, and these infestors. Hello.
Oh my god.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're a little bit exposed. Like, the thing is that even taking down the right side base isn't good enough because there isn't that many minerals there anymore. Dream is outmining Lambo by a factor of 2 at this point. So the longer this go on, the worse it just gets for Lambo. And even Nuke on the right side as well. It's going to be taken out by this Overseer Link squad, right?
Yeah.
Yep, there we go. Won't land, but almost no creep here either. I wouldn't even be surprised if Dream is going to be the guy who pulls out the next move. Like, tries to get a little bit aggressive with a drop here or there. Maybe tries to pretend to move forward with an army. You see him being kind of aggressive towards the bottom side base. Look at that.
Yeah, things are looking a little bit difficult for Lambo now as he started to trail in supply. And yeah, Dream is now defending this right-hand side of the map and potentially looking for that aggressive move now onto this hatchery. Will be easily taken down. Lambo doesn't really have anything ready for a counter offense or a defense, so he's just gonna have to forgo this base and all the drones in it. That's gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah, that's pain. This was the last real mining. Well, we still have like half a mining base on the left side as well. Really, there's what, like 9 patches left. A couple of patches left on his fourth base as well, with these long distance mining pads. Yeah, the longer this game goes, the worse it gets. His trades have not been efficient. He's being outmined right now, so Dream could even fight at 200 supply and just be up 50, 60 supply.
Yeah.
I am having a difficult time seeing Lambo win this. Dream is moving towards the middle. This rotation is a very scary one. He can start working on that creep, sends out another drop to the far right side, and there is no reason for Dream to push his advantage, but I think at this point, he might just be able to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that things could get scary for Dream if Lambo gets maxed out again. A good fungal to start things off here on a lot of these Marines. The Lynx are going to run in, but at this point, Lambo has to be really careful not to lose any units unnecessarily. And I wouldn't mind something like an Infestor flank or some sort of crazy maneuver to try and get rid of some of these stores. Try to neuroparasite him. I love the drop as well from Dream that you pointed out, because it's going to deny that base that's ever so important for Lambo. As Dream now positions to try and take out the last remaining mining base of Lambo. There is a few Broodlords here trying to say something about it. There's Queens with Transfuse available. They haven't been the best or the most diligent throughout the game. We'll see if that changes for this fight.
Yeah, Dream is very far forward here. Vikings are being sacrificed for vision, even though he had a couple of scans. We're on 7 orbitals. I'm not quite sure how useful that was. Yeah, Dream isn't even too careful here with the tanks. He's gonna siege forward. All these stores are moving up. Ghosts are in the army as well. EMP is gonna be going down. A lot of these infestors are being caught. Some of these queens are being caught. That's a big binding cloud though.
Huge.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of the danger of going into this choke. The Queens are at the front. They need to transfuse the Broodlords more than anything else. Send them to the back. If anything, the Neural Parasite onto one of the Vikings. I'm not sure what that's supposed to accomplish, but it's working out so far-ish. Not really. I mean, a lot of these Broodlords are going to continue to fall. There's 3 Thors remaining as well. The tanks are not helping out Dream, and Lambo even feeling forced to pull some workers out of the line to try and buffer for those Broodlords and create space between them and the Thors. Now Lambo microing for dear life, trying to pull every single Broodlord back, and will be able to hold this army of Dream. Wow.
Yeah, it is a hold, but it cost him absolutely everything. He threw just his entire army. The drones, we see the aggressive muling here on one of Lambo's bases. Even if these mules don't get home, they will be able to take away some of the minerals that belong to Lambo. I like that move. I think it's a move we first saw introduced by the man of mech himself, the king of mech, Goody, back in the day. He would scan and steal your minerals. Initially, people thought he was manner muling, but then Goody was like, no. It's actually, I don't manner mule, I just take their minerals. So when I split the map eventually at the 1.5 hour mark, I have more minerals. And that last fight was actually very good. It was a fight, the first fight this game, where Lambo was cost efficient. He gained
by a good margin. Yep.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah.
And he was down in supply. Dream was a little bit too aggressive. I said it before. I think it's not necessary for Dream to push, but I think he can. And I think Dream had a similar mindset going into that fight. The fight doesn't need to be cost efficient for him. He just wants to force the end of the game, and he could have played it out a little bit more careful. I still think he's in a fantastic position. It's going to be difficult for him to lose. He's gonna need 2-3 more fights like that last one, and in order to lose this game. And I don't think Lambo will be capable of doing that. I just don't see it happen.
We'll see. There's only 1 ghost remaining. This Broodlord's a little bit out of position. They're getting scanned, and here is where Dream could maybe pounce on this army. There is 1 Infestor looking for those Marines to fungal, and it will not land onto too many of them. And now the Broodlords are getting taken down, and this is looking like a 2-0 for the Korean Terran as Lambo gets cleaned up. And after a good fight in the end there, unfortunately not enough to make up for that deficit. It was a